Sylvie Courvoisier is joining us today from Brooklyn, where she hangs out in between tours. She's a very active performing and recording artist, and she's got 2 new albums out that we're going to talk about. So, bonjour, Sylvie, and thanks for coming on the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You were born and raised in Lausanne, Switzerland, and you studied there as well, but you've been in New York now for almost 3 decades. Why did you make that switch?
I made that switch in 98, but because I fell in love in 95, something like that, with Mark Feldman, who is my ex-husband now, but I lived with him for 20 years. And
Violinist.
yeah, Mark Feldman, the violinist. Yeah, we recorded together a lot of albums. So basically, I thought I would stay a year, and now it has been 27 years. Yeah.
Did your earliest influences come from Europe?
I had influences, I think, from both, as much from European classical tradition as well as American music, because my father is an amateur jazz pianist, so he always played Dixieland and swing at the house, and we listened to a lot of Thelonious Monk and Duke Ellington. And when I was 16, I discovered more what I really like Miles Davis, some Paul Bley, some stuff I didn't know then. I saw John Zorn with Naked City. I saw Jerry Allen, and I'm a huge fan of both of them. And we had a grand piano in the house. And when I was 6 years old, I told my parents I want to become a pianist. And they told me it's not a profession. But I said, oh, I still want to do that.
You mentioned Paul Bley. He recorded in France many times.
Yes.
What about Messiaen, the great French composer? He's one of the dedicatees of To Be Otherwise.
I love Messiaen. I love his composition and his whole language. He's as much as an influence as Thelonious Monk.
Of course, he was an organist and piano player as well.
Yeah.
How about Irène Schweizer? She passed away last year at 83. She was an exploratory improvising pianist who also happened to be Swiss and female.
Irène is also a big influence as a pianist and as a female musician, living in Switzerland. I met her, I was probably 20. I met her in Zurich. She was more an inspiration as a person and as a way of thinking and being an individualist, a feminist, and a strong figure in this pretty paternalist country was Switzerland. Now, I think it changed a lot, but when I was young, it was.
The jazz community was also quite patriarchal,
Yes.
especially back then.
Yeah, totally. She had a tough time, but and she was a lovely person, and she developed totally a unique language.
She had a very percussive style on the keyboard.
Very, very percussive. I was close to her for like 35 years.
My guest is Sylvie Courvoisier, pianist and composer. We've been sampling her new solo album on Flotation device. It's called To Be Otherwise. What's that title all about?
It's a title that I went to a show of Amy Seelman, and I love her painting. It's like, for me, she's probably the best painter alive now. And her show was called To Be Otherwise, and she stole it from.
It's from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
The Duchess.
And I think I like that it's otherwise, like it's other. It's only my second solo album, but I feel there's a lot of space, there's a lot of maybe more wisdom as before.
In the background, we're hearing a selection from To Be Otherwise. It's called Edging Candy Tuft, and it's dedicated to guitarist Mary Halvorson. It reminds me of John Cage and his prepared piano, but is Mary's influence in here as well?
I'm not sure if it's musically influenced to her, but Mary has been a really good influence in the life, and she's a really close friend. And I love working with her, and I love her composition and her unique way of playing.
That brings us to your other new album, Bone Bells, which consists of duets with Mary Halvorson. It's not the first time you've recorded together. There was something called Crop Circles from 2017 and Searching for the Disappeared Hour from 2021. What is it about this format that makes you want to keep returning to it?
I think we are developing a language, and I think this album is the strongest we have of the three we did. And it's the fact that I like to go on with a project when I like the person I work with, and also that we both feel that we are going somewhere and going further in our work and our research.
And what's this album's title about? Bone Bells.
Bone Bells is a title from Mary. She read a book called Trust.
Hernan Diaz.
Hernan Diaz, yes. And we both love the sound of bone bells and also how the bone could sound.
I've heard trumpets made of bones from Tibet, but a bone bell would be pretty unique.
Yeah, totally.
We're hearing a tune from this album now. It's one of your compositions called Nag's Head Waltz. It's a rondo where the refrain is a tonal waltz, but the episodes are free and atonal, like a cross between Henry Mancini and Cecil Taylor. What's that all about?
I wrote a valse because we were missing a piece in 3/4, and after I wanted something a bit comic, maybe almost French or Italian. Or Nag Head was a pub we encountered during our trip in London.
I see. Well, if you're listening from London, you can add the Nag's Head pub to the list of musical landmarks, along with the Barbican and Abbey Road Studios. Sylvie, it sounds like you're doing some under-the-lid work here, sliding a metal object along the strings to make a glissando.
Yes, I use a metal ball that I could make.
And Mary also likes to use a metal slide in her left hand.
Yes.
So there's lots of metal on metal here. You've got another duet album coming out in fall 2025. It's with Wadada Leo Smith, who plays trumpet, a very different instrument than an electric guitar that can intertwine with a piano. Is that a challenging format to play in?
No, I don't think it's challenging. I think it's very easy to play with Wadada because he sounds already great alone. So I don't have to do so much. I feel like sometimes I try to erase myself when I play with Wadada so I can make him sound even better.
I interviewed Wadada for his 80th birthday, and when I asked him if there was anyone that he regretted not getting to perform with during his long career, he mentioned two pianists, Chick Corea and Keith Jarrett. I think he loves playing with pianists.
Oh, he loves piano, yeah. He loves drums and piano.
Angel Falls is the name of that album, due out in October from Intact Records, which is a Swiss label.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to that. Right now, though, I want to return to your solo album, To Be Otherwise, and a track called Preluding, which is dedicated to Conlon Nancarrow, who became famous for his player piano studies made from the 50s through the 80s. He would meticulously hand-punch the player piano rolls to create music of extreme rhythmic complexity. How did you get interested in his music?
I started to listen to more Nancarrow music in my early 20s because I was working with a barrel organ, Pierre Charial, and I did 2 albums in the early 90s called Ocre. Pierre Charial he plays barrel organ where you crank it, and basically you have to write the music punching holes in the cardboard the same way Conlon Nancarrow was writing for his piano player. So of course I become more and more familiar to Nancarrow's music, and it's really hard to play Nancarrow's music on a regular piano, but I like this excessiveness and this almost impossibility.
Were you influenced by the rhythmic layering,
Yeah.
by the way he made triads dart all over the keyboard?
Yes, everything, especially the density and the thing that it's almost impossible to play.
My guest has been Sylvie Courvoisier, the Swiss-born, Brooklyn-based pianist and composer. Her two latest albums are To Be Otherwise from Intact Records and Bone Bells from Pyroclastic Records. Find her on the web at sylviecourvoisier.com and go see her live if you can. Sylvie, it's been fun chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And now let's hear Preluding for Conlon Nancarrow on Flotation Device.